I will never build a hi-fi system without this one component ever again. Once you add this component into your hi-fi system, you will never be able to take it out, and it completely changes the game, and I'm going to tell you how. And I'm at the point where I have one in almost every hi-fi system in the store. It's inexpensive, it looks incredible, but most importantly, it is the answer to the one question I'm asked more than any other. And not only that, but it's also the answer to the second and third most questions that I'm asked. And those questions are, how do I hook up 2 amps to 1 pair of speakers? How can I hook up 2 pairs of speakers to 1 amp? And how can I add meters to my hi-fi system? Now, it does have one downside, but I'll get to that later. This right here is the Douk Audio VU3, nicknamed the One Little Bear. It's a 2-way amplifier and speaker switch box and dB panel display. It not only serves multiple purposes, but the warm glow of the meters adds something special to your system. And at under 150 bucks, it's not going to break the bank. It plugs into any USB-C outlet, and honestly, I plugged it into a power bank for this video. So it's simple to add absolutely anywhere. I use this multiple times a day to demo speakers and amplifiers to people who come in the store looking for their next hi-fi system. And it works like this. You can hook up 2 amps into this side of the box and 2 pairs of speakers into this side. I just totally said that backwards, but you get the point. Then you take the remote and can change from amp A, and I can do it on the front as well, to amp B on one set of speakers. Then once you find the amp you like, you can switch the speakers on this side or vice versa. All right, so here's how this can help your hi-fi system. If you're into hi-fi, there's a really good chance that you own more than 1 amp or more than 1 pair of speakers. And if you don't now, you've probably been thinking about it. But buying another amp when you already have one that you love can create a problem. Mainly, the pain of unhooking everything from 1 amp and plugging it into another every time you want to switch. But with this one box that costs under $150, you don't have to do any of that. You can switch it with the click of a button. Now, as far as hookup, you do have to either split your source signal or run a tape out from 1 amp to the other, but it's really easy to do. And not only can you do this with the amps, but you can also do this with your speakers. This gives you up to 4 different combinations in a single hi-fi system. When I sit someone down and let them have control over the A and B stereo systems, they act shocked every time, like, how is this even a thing? And yes, there have been speaker switch boxes for years, and some amp boxes here and there as well. There's even been boxes with external meters. But having everything in one is a whole new level. I can't live without the Douk Audio VU3. I've bought probably 10 of them at this point, and this video isn't sponsored by them at all. I've actually bought them, and if you're looking to get one, I did link it in the description below, so you can grab it off Amazon. But whether you have a vintage hi-fi system or a new one, this component will completely change it, but there is one downside. And it's not one that bothers me personally, and I demo everything with these, and I can tell you about 99% of people probably won't be bothered with it, but it is another component that your audio will have to travel through, and this could cause some low noise, even at a minor level. Nothing that I hear, but anytime something goes through another device, there's a chance that this can happen. But this one component, the Douk Audio VU3, is the one component that I would never build a hi-fi system without. All right, so I just did that entire explanation of why I would never build another hi-fi system without the Douk Audio VU3. Because it can expand it so much. But I thought, like, why not kind of show you guys how we use it and get this guy's opinion, because you may want that as well. But not only that, Tom, not only are we going to do that, I'm also going to show them another product that I don't think it's seeing it. Maybe I got to look away. Does it see it now?
No.
No.
Well, now it's seeing me.
Oh, it's seeing you. Oh, let's duck.
We won't be able to tell.
There it is.
There.
So this is how you would do multiple inputs. I don't know if you can see it or not, but this is another Douk product that you guys should check out as well. But let's show you how we use the VU3s. All right, you were spot on. They want to know what you think because they already got what I think, and I told them basically, I'm not building another system without this because it's so versatile. But what do you think?
Well, it's very helpful to have. And if you have like a separate amp that can't switch speakers, that's very useful. VU meters is also something that if you don't have, it can be kind of tricky to get in your system. There's options that are not cheap, where this kind of makes a lot of sense. It's very affordable. Downsides, I really haven't experienced them. There's just kind of some doubt when you're running your entire signal through something like this. You would absolutely want something like this to be passive, which is no power, anything like that, just totally transparent. And there is a power supply hooked up to it. I don't know if that is for the actual, like if there's a buffer in there or if it's just for the lights. Either way, you don't necessarily like the idea of lights right there by your signal path and all that, but...
Do you ever notice noise when we're demoing with it?
I don't.
I did bring that up as the one downside to this. I completely said the same thing you did. But in that same sentence, I said, I've probably never heard any noise from it.
No.
And we demo it every day.
We do. We do. There's some, like the NADs, they're not able to, you'll blow your amp if you hook them up to something like this.
Good call.
But for, yeah, you got to remember that. But for most situations, I mean, if you want to hear the difference between Luxman and Accuphase, Advanced Paris, and how that stacks up with everything, that one button can just switch, and that has made demos so easy and very educational. You can hear the differences, how similar things are. That's very nice. And if you're really a collector, you have a big system, you have multiple amps, you're not necessarily doing demos, it makes you're able to create this matrix that is very helpful to have.
All right, so there you see the VU3 that we have in our, this is our high-end system. The Advanced Paris, the Yamaha, the Luxman, the Accuphase. You just go right down the line. Anything that's everything is running through that VU3 box. Now, the other component that they use that we don't really use, but we have them, is going to be the VU2. And what this one does is it allows you to do multiple inputs. So, Tom, maybe you should tell them about that.
This is designed for just regular line level audio. You can run it in reverse, whichever, but you're switching it's mainly designed to switch inputs to go into a single source on your preamp, but you can do it the other way. Juggle multiple preamps into a single amp, but whatever.
Yeah, I guess if you want to do it that way, you could.
This one's kind of cool because you get much bigger meters. You can get this in different styles.
Oh.
You can get the Onkyo one.
We have that one too.
I know, I like that one. It's the very similar meters to the M504s that I love the way those look. And I think there's a third style, but I'm forgetting what it is. But the VU meter aspect of, adding that to your system is definitely enhanced with the, I don't even know the model number for this, VU2. There you go. It's got like 3 different names.
Yeah, and how we used it,
we were doing something pretty wild with it. We had like a true matrix going on, and I can't even remember exactly what we did because it was so...
So we took one of them and we ran all the inputs into one of the boxes so it came out with one output signal. Mm-hmm. Then we ran that into another VU2.
Yeah.
And that one input then was split into 4 separate output signals. So what it allowed us to do, in theory, since you might not have followed that, was it allowed us to hook like 4 separate components up to 4 separate amplifiers and just switch them back and forth without having to do any cable changes. That being said, we always end up doing cable changes, but...
Yeah, it didn't last very long, but it was cool.
Yeah, it's a cool theory if you want to just play around. Now in this one we did notice a little bit more noise because you are sending, analog signal through something that is powered, but really cool functionality in that, and the noise was very low. Most people probably would not be affected by it at all. But just some really cool stuff you can do with this Douk stuff, whether it's, the VU3, which is right there, or the VU2, which is right there. Any last minute thoughts?
You know what I'm seeing? I'm on a lot of Facebook groups, and I know Facebook's kind of lame, but I do see a lot of, just audio groups that I'm in. And it's pretty common for me to see in people's setups that they're posting online one of these 2 models. It's pretty common, and it's a lot of people where you don't have gear that has VU meters. That's the thing. The VU meters can just sometimes be a very fleeting thing for your system, and this just adds it very easily and gives you a lot of other functions as well.
So now we don't have a system set up in here right now, but we did want to show you what the black meters look like. So this is the one Tom likes more, the one that I didn't grab. We have two of those, but just one of the other ones. We like that look more.
Yeah, I think it looks pretty tough.
I totally disagree, but I mean, not that it doesn't look tough, because it does. I just like
the way you said it, like I totally disagree. I was like, oh, okay.
I like the analog looking thing better, but I totally get. I know you're a big fan of the Onkyo, and that definitely, you know, I like that one too. It looks nice. What? Do you know YouTube already knows what video you want to watch next? Well, it's that one right there. I'm going to leave Tom in the picture today. It's going to be blurry, but if you enjoyed this video, check that one out right there.